Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of the Disgustingly Resilient podcast and another Plague Surgery where we take a look at our members list that they've submitted on our Discord and go through a few of them and give our feedback, thoughts and ideas on them. So, very quick sort of update before we get into looking at some lists. Obviously if you are in chat and you want the list to be looked at, please put your name in there. We've already got our first one lined up as well, which is really cool. So I will say, if you are here, we do try to, obviously do some lists of people that are live in chat because they can give some feedback. But if you are listening on repeat or, rerun and you want your list looking at inside the Plague Surgery Bites, you're like, yes, you really want to get yours looked at, feel free to tag me in your list and I'll try and get it up in the next one. Because we do try and do these every week, so to try and get as many lists as we can covered. Let me quickly load the Death Guard models real quick. Now, I will say, probably not the place to do it, but I'll do a channel update sort of here. So, in terms of the channel, we had a discussion on the Discord. I'm a little burnt out, not necessarily because of channel, not really because of thingy, but I don't even know if burnout's the real word. I'm just in a bit of a weird spot where I'm a bit struggling to make content right now. And the community, the Death Guard community on our Discord has done really well at providing a lot of suggestions, and I'm trying to take steps to combat that. For those who don't know, I managed to take Votan to an RTT yesterday. I got 2 wins and a draw, which is really, really fun. So we managed to have it was a nice change of pace, and it sort of reinvigorated my hype to play the game a bit. Obviously, I'm not super happy with the meta right now, but I don't want to be negative. So I am going to try. I've got some videos that I'm excited to make, like using reserves properly. I've got another tournament tomorrow. So what I'll quickly do, actually, I'll quickly build my own list for tomorrow's tournament so people can see what I'm taking. So I am taking Mortarion. This is not a list style that I normally play. I'm very normally, and Votan taught me this as well. When I played my Votan list, it was very MSU, very objective control-y, which is a way more my kind of playstyle. So I decided for this one, I'm actually going to take a very elite top-heavy list to this tomorrow RTT tomorrow. And again, this one's going to be Death Guard, so this is going to be something we will chat about on the channel. And it's a list that quite a few people are interested in. So we have got Mortarion, we've got the Demon Prince, we are playing Virulent Vectorum. So we have a lot of it's going to be very, very, very small. It's very elite. So we do have 2 big Mortarion models. We've got Mortarion himself and the Demon Prince with the Feel No Pain. We've got 10-man Blight Lord Brick, a 10-man Plague Green Brick, a single Rhino for those to roll around in. Then we have double Chaos Spawn. So a bit of double Chaos Spawn action. We do have a squad of Poxwalkers in here as well. The only one that we're going to have. We have 1 single squad of Poxwalkers. We have the usual characters for the Playcaster and the Biologist Putrefire, just for the squad of Plague Marines, so that they get all the extra power that they need to have. So they're just going to come and sit in front here. Then we have 3 HBL drones. 1, 2, 3. There you are. 1, 2, 3. 3 fetid blow drones with HBL launchers and a Tallyman. So this is my list. As you can see, it's a little elite that. There's not many models, I'm not gonna lie. It is, I think it's under 30 models. It's like 10, 20, 30, 30 I think it's under 40, so 34, 35, 36. Yeah, it's 40 models bang on. So as you can see, it's quite elite, so it's going to be quite different for me to try and sort of see how it goes on, but it'll be good content to talk about on the channel, because a lot of people do like more elite lists. And again, if you're trying to get into Death Guard, and you don't have tons of money to spend, like this list here, like the Spawn, you can even kit bash out things, but this is probably one of the cheaper lists to get, because you don't need that many models for it, and it should be quite fun. So we're going to try this out at the RTT tomorrow, see how we do. We have got Chaos Demons round 1. Because in the UK we got our pairings like a day before. So I'm against, it's like Bellacore, Scarbrand, double chickens, and then some like little trashy pieces. So we're going to see how it goes. It should be quite interesting. Obviously it's going to be very punishing if I mess up with this army. So I'm going to be very, very careful about how I play it. So it's going to be very, very different to the games I just played with Votan, where I was like 5 Halfkin Warriors, 5 Halfkin Warriors, 5 Halfkin Warriors. Like, whoa, Halfkin Warrior be upon you. So yeah. Now, I will say as well, just before we get into guilding your guys' list, so this is again what I'm taking tomorrow, I have actually had a speak with Will, and it turns out Element Games actually have a private room that you can hire out. It's called like the Warlock's Retreat or something. So because I'm there tomorrow, I'm gonna speak to them, see what the availability is like, and see if there's any like prices like to rent it and whatnot. And hopefully, if I manage to get it booked in, we will use that space to record the first battle report for the channel. So I'm going to get my friend, probably Oliver, who's in the chat right now. He's going to come with me, hopefully. And we're going to play like 2 games more than likely. So we'll record 2 games and we can put them on the channel. Again, not membership locked or anything like that. We don't membership lock things, but I'm trying to find ways to make myself more positive and more passionate about the channel, and I think battle reports would be more of a fun way to make content, because obviously it's playing the game, which I enjoy. You guys get to see us play it. It won't be 3-hour long, top down, every single role, every single thing. It will be edited to be like, if anyone's watched Scarredcast, like his battle report, so 30 minutes, 35 minutes, 40 sort of tops. And it'll sort of like recap at the end of phases. We'll obviously record important dice rolls like 6-inch charges and shit, because you want to watch me fail those all the time. But I do need your guys' help to sort of shape that a bit. So if you are a member and you're on the Discord, I want to know the kind of things you want to see. Do you want to see me just playing the best tournament lists? Or do you want to see me playing like good lists, played well, but not just like the meta list of the time? So like for example, the 100 Poxwalker 14 tank Shambler list that I took to an RTT with and went perfect score with. That's a list that's not exactly meta, not exactly going to be like, seeing any big tournaments, but it was a list that I actually found was very fun to play and very different, and it's very, viable. So if people are interested in seeing that kind of stuff, or would you guys just prefer to see me taking like right now, like the the meta VV list or the meta champs list, and just sort of like on the hammer list when it was like edition launch, for example? Or would you want to see that variety of things? I will try and always have Death Guard on it. Obviously, you guys are here to watch the Death Guard channel, but I might not always be playing the Death Guards. For example, Oliver, who's coming with me, he also owns Death Guard, so sometimes I might rip out the Votan to play against someone's Death Guard. And yeah, the idea being like, we can sort of, I'm looking at getting a green screen so we can sort of have, after every turn, we can, have someone stood there and be like, I did this because I was really hoping like he'd, fall for the bait, do the bad trade, and then I could hit him back with, the thing I've just set up here. So you could sort of explain a bit more of the tactics front. So it'll be, hopefully, and it might take me a while to edit, I'm not sure, it's all a bit unknown, but the biggest problem we've got for battle reports, it's not the camera. We've got the camera. We've had that for a while. Natalie used to do photography. She picked me out a very good camera, so thank you very much for that one, Natalie. It is very good, to be fair. We've got the microphones. We have the car now, so we can get to and back from place and stuff like that, which is really cool. And the Greg's background, that would be amazing. Sponsored. And yeah, and then so now we could potentially have the location. So I'm going to speak to him tomorrow, see what I can do. And yeah, hopefully we can get making battle report content, because I feel like that would be something that the channel would really benefit from, and it would be nice to have like list breakdowns of the week, tactics video, review of a detachment, whatever it is, and then like a battle report. So obviously try and get a couple out a month. That would be pretty cool. There's nothing wrong with Hammer anymore, Phil. I can play Hammer. That is fine. I will play Hammer. No problem at all. It's not my favourite, but it is a detachment. If you guys want me to play it, I will play it. Any list other than Hammer would be good. All right, from music. I didn't totally saw that message. So yeah, yeah, that would be basically. I will try and make sure they are not just random, walking Plague Marines, so stuff that you could actually take away and, go to an RTT or go to a GT and do decently well with, and hopefully pick up some things from it. Jay Frost, thank you for becoming a Blight Lord, mate. I really appreciate the support there, man. Thank you so much. Go to our YouTube channel homepage. There'll be a button that says See Perks. Click that. You get a link in the Discord. Once you're in the Discord, go to your Discord settings, connections, and link it to your YouTube, and it'll unlock the full server for you and your Blight Lord status. So thank you so much, Mr. J Frost. Really appreciate it. Quaid, Aiden, I put another Fleshmore on my list in place of the LOV and then smashed some Eldar with it. I figured you'd be proud. You know I'm proud of you. I'm always proud of someone smashing Eldar every time. So well done, mate. Well done. So yeah, I'll put this over here. This is my list for tomorrow. Obviously, I will do an event recap on these things. And also, if you are interested in it, I will do an event recap for the Votan as well. Obviously, it's not a Votan channel, but if you are interested, I will do an event recap for that as well, because you can see how I played it a bit differently. I will also I think I might make a video Oliver suggested as well on burnout and how to deal with it, because after playing the Votan, I definitely do feel it more reinvigorated a bit. Also for Death Guard, not just Votan, because it's just nice to sort of have that breather, that little break, to get back into the swings of things. So anyway, enough rambling from me. It's not what you're here for, so sorry about Let's get into it. So first up tonight, we've got Mr. Gareth T, who's basically given us two lists. And one of them is called Does Kill Catan, and the other one is called Doesn't Kill Catan. And he's locking it in for a league. And it's Death Lord's Chosen, and basically he's saying to us, what do I take? Which one? Which one or the other? So let's have a look at the first one here. Let's get the first one up. So straight up, this is the Does Kill Catan. Does. So we got a lot of contagion coming in with Warp Rock Talisman. This is the enhancement lets you uppy downy, which is very good, very, very powerful inside Death Lord's Chosen. Definitely probably the auto take here. And then we've got a Lord of Virulence as well, who I think is here. No enhancement Lord of Virulence, so just bare bones Lord of Virulence. Then we have 10 Blight Lord Terminators. I'm going to go steal them from my own list up here. There we go. God, that list looks tiny. This is going to be weird to play this list tomorrow. Double Chaos Spawn. A 6-man Death Shroud Terminators. My god, he might be outdoing me for eliteness here. Don't know what the hell that is. There we go. So 2 squads of Chaos Spawn here. Then we have 6 Death Shroud Terminators. Let's go grab those boys. Control C, Control V. 2 squads. So 1 squad of 6, sorry. And we have another squad of 3. Let's grab that. Ooh, another squad of 3 Death Shroud Terminators. And then we have 1, 2 HBL drones. 1, 2 HBL drones. Go grab them. Up here, boosh, boosh, that is 3 Aiden. I cannot count. That is 1, 2 HBL drones, so heavy balance drones. 1, 2, 3 squads of Poxwalkers, and a double carnivore. Okay. Okay. Was it 3 squads of Pox? Yeah, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. I like the triple Poxwalkers. I do feel like they are quite important. Especially when you're playing so elite, you need these things. Don't be like me and not take just one. But then we also have the double carnivore. I think I have a carnivore saved, actually. No, that's a Night Rampager. I 100% have a Carnivore. Where are you? There you are. Carnivore? Carnivore. Carnivore. It's a song, that I think, isn't it? Right. So, this is Can Kill Catan. Now, what I'm going to do now is, so we're going to put this one just to the side here real quick. And then we're going to get the Can't Kill Catan. And then we're going to basically compare them between each other. So, let's have a look at the Can't Kill Catan list that you're also submitting. So, this time we've got the triple Lord of Contagion. Good Lord. One's got Warp Rock Talisman, again. Then we have a Lord of Virulence as well. So we've got 1, 2, 3, and a Lord of Virulence as well here. There we go. So a lot of Terminator characters here. We still have the 10-man Blight Lord brick. I might have to just move these a bit more to the side than I thought. There we go. 10-man Blight Lord brick still. Then we have a Land Raider. Okay, okay. Oh, I deleted the Land Raider. God damn it. It's fine. I have one. Where are you at, Land Raider? There you are, Raider. Oh, that's so many errors. That is so many errors. It's fine. We got Land Raider. There we go. Land Raider. Land Raider's awesome. We have 2 Chaos Spawn. One apparently wants to really go inside the Land Raider. So 2 Chaos Spawn, Land Raider. We have another 6-man squad of Death Shroud Terminators. 2 3-man squads of Death Shroud Terminators. So this is a bit more of a Terminator list. So boosh boosh. 1, 2. So I'm guessing going to be Lord of Contagion, Lord of Contagion, Lord of Contagion, and then obviously a Lord of Virulence in that. And then we have 1, 2, 3 squads of Poxwalkers. Good Lord, we are on the elite train today. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so I am going to read your post very quickly as well because there's a bit of a message with it. So let's have a look. So, tonight is my deadline for changing my league list. I've never played DLC before, so I want to give it a go uppy downy DSTs. One list plays into the Terminator aspect more than the other, while the other just hits harder. The second does mean, though, that I get to use my very new cool Land Raider I bought from eBay. It does look very cool. That does look very, very cool. So, let's consider what we're thinking about here. So, you're playing Death Lord's Chosen, and I will say right now, Death Lord's Chosen is not going to be great into Catan. You have a 6-man squad. Unfortunately, you can't use the reroll hit roll strat because it's only against infantry. And the Carnivores are pretty good at punching it, but they're a bit swingy depending on, obviously, hit rolls and the 4P model. What I would say is, Catan are a thing. And I don't want to keep rambling about Catan. I would say, you know your league. If your league is going to be dominated by Catan, like if there's going to be tons of Catan players, we need to prepare for it. If it's not, I don't think it matters for you to care either way. I don't think DLC has a great matchup into Catan, in all honesty. I think it's just a bad matchup. And again, that's just the nature of Catan at the moment. So what I would say to you is, rather than worrying about Catan, which of these are you more hyped to play? Because you've already said you really want to play this sick Land Raider from you got from eBay. Now this list here is very, very elite, but it also looks incredibly fun to play. I won't lie. Like, there's a lot of guys here. Now, what I would potentially try and suggest is in this second list here, you could try your best to actually get in the reroll, +1 move, give things reroll advances, because that would make this squad here a lot faster. And this means this squad can start on the table, and then you can have 2 squads of Death Shroud in reserves here, and obviously 1 is Head Land Raider. That'd give you a lot more table presence and a lot better in functionality in general. You are playing 2 very elite lists. Now this one actually is an argument to make it that this one is actually better well-rounded. Obviously it doesn't have the Land Raiders, so you're not going to have all the Land Raider shenanigans and fun, but there is actually quite some power here. This squad is still quite scary on its own. Obviously LV goes with them, I imagine. We've got a solo Death Shroud squad. Let me just double check that is correct. Solo Death Shroud squad, 6-man, a 3-man, and there's only 1 Lord of Contagion, yeah. So this is actually not too bad. These guys can obviously come in and be more of a trading piece. You've got a bit of shooting. The Carnivals offer you that fast moving OC, which is really nice. You've got the double spawn, which I think is quite important. Now, it's not as important in this list because obviously you've got the pressure of the Land Raider itself pushing up to open up contagion ranges. Both lists are pretty good. In all honesty, now this one on the right dictates you to be just super aggressive. It's not an option because you don't have shooting, so you have to stage that your Land Raider, and then you just basically this is a turn 2 full whamma jamma send that bad boy, and that's not a bad thing. That is not a bad thing. Yeah, as Dan is saying in chat, I've stopped taking for Catan. If I get them, it is what it is. Look, there isn't many Necron plays in my local meta. That's kind of the way it is, especially if you're going to play a list like DLC. Like, you're already not playing meta. Like, I will say that, and it's not an insult that at all, but it's already not meta. So I wouldn't worry too much about taking like the top meta dogs at the moment, because you're already in an uphill battle. And the worst bit is if you're going to change your list to a degree where to have so let's say for example you have a 10% chance to win a game. Is there much point in changing your list to a 25% chance to win the game if it's going to like dictate all your fun and dictate the units you want to take? That's what I'd ask for you. Now, if I was playing this, personally, I probably would take this first list, but again, that's because my playstyle prefers the trade units, and I think this is actually pretty well-rounded. You get to play with some Carnivals as well, which is quite fun, but it doesn't have many Terminators, so you're not going to get like tons of use out of the strats and whatnot, but I mean, you still got some here, like, again, this squad here having like the ability to like, get a soul is actually really, really nice. This is uppy downy, could use some impact mortal wounds, again, really, really nice. It's the only attachment I haven't played, plus I want to try uppy downy. What I would say to you in music is, what looks more exciting to you? What looks genuinely more exciting to you here? Because I think that would be a better way to look at this potentially. I mean, you could even potentially, drop... we could drop those, get some Poxhawkers gone. That frees up, what, 225 points? You could then put a Lord of Contagion back in here, so you can have 2 squads of, like, Scary Lord of Contagion, and then you're still floating 100 points, so you get something else in here. I mean, you got a double Taliman to, like, screen out home objectives pretty nicely. But again, if you want the big 6-man, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that at all. It just depends if you want that Lord of Contagion, that second 3-man. But, like, this list here is, like, pretty cool for what it does. Anyway, to make a hybrid of the 2 lists. Okay. What's the hybrid you want to keep? Is it this cool-ass Land Raider? Is that where your head's at? Is it the cool-ass Land Raider you want to make work? That's going to be my questions here. The hybrid is the question, because there is probably a hybrid here to be made, but there has to be a concession somewhere. And so, for example, on this right side here, you could argue that, let's say we get rid of this, that frees us up 280 points. We keep the Land Raider, so you've still got a squad in there, you've still got an uppy downy squad, you've still got this big shooty squad here. So we're at 280 points still to play around with there. So that could, for example, get you like double bloat drone in the back there. So you get double bloat drone here. That's pretty cool. You want to keep, okay, so you want to keep the extra Terminators, right? So we want to keep these. Okay, so I guess a little tougher. You could go like, so drop that to that brings you 160. Drop those for 65. That gives you then 225 to play around with. That then could go something like bloat drone, and then put the assault enhancement on this guy. That wouldn't be too bad. That wouldn't be too bad at all, because I think the assault enhancement, is it 15 points? So you have to double check it is like 15 or 10. But like that wouldn't. These are 120 each. What am I about? So you couldn't do that. Sorry, ignore me. You get one of them in. Oh man. So we drop them for 160. We drop them for 65. So we're floating 225 points here. Let me just check if you have any other enhancements in that list on the right. Doesn't kill Catan. 1, 2, 3. Chaos Spawn, Land Raider, Blight Lords, LOV, just the Warp Rot Talisman. And again, that's fine. So these guys go inside here. Let me just put this, I need to just figure this out myself. So these guys are going to ride in there. They're not going to have Warp Rot, obviously. So those guys go in here. We have this squad here with Warp Rot Talisman to uppy downy. This squad here can just be a bare bones in the sky. This squad here can be a big shooty bad boys. That's fine, and that is currently floating as an extra. That's floating as an extra 160 points from dropping the thingy. This has also currently got the triple poxwalkers in it. So with those 160 points, what can we buy straight up there? So you could like potentially get a War Dog Carnivore in here, and then because they're how much is a Carnivore these days? Have a look. So we're floating 160 War Dog Carnivore, Chaos Knights. Have a look. Come on, load. 150. So they're 150 each. So that would come in for that. You could technically, because you are floating 10 points, you could like do something like, again, I wouldn't recommend it because I feel like the spawn are quite necessary. It depends how aggressive you want to be. Because again, if you're being aggressive with the Blight Lord, you're being aggressive with the Land Raider. You could do something like this where you go like double Carnivore in here and just be like super pressureless. So you go like 2 squads of Poxwalkers to just hold home, do annoying things. Blight Lord Terminators can start on the board because you keep giving them the assault stratagem. And then you could have Land Raider with 3 inside. You could have these 2 in reserves ready to drop in on turn 2. And then just basically just play like these guys come out, clear screens as much as you can. And then Land Raider just comes out for like if you get first turn, this could actually be pretty horrific because you just set up for like a really big turn 2 with the War Dogs running out as well. So that could be quite decent and quite fun. And you obviously just the biggest problem there is contagion spreading because that's what makes the spawn so good. Hello, please stop destroying everything. So that's one thing you could do. Land Raider in there. Now, what if we would take this list over here? These are 150 each. So like again, you could just, I mean, you could literally just cut out the 2 of those. How much is Land Raider again? The Land Raider is how many points? 220. So that would be floating 80. So you know what, you could actually cut 1 Carnivore, cut 1 Spawn, that gives you 230, which then gets you actually the Land Raider, and you're still floating 10 points. That is also like a possible list. Like that is not too bad because you still have stuff to push up the board. You've got extra screening. You still got some spawn here. That would also be a decent list that you could try out there. So I don't know how do you feel like in here? That wouldn't be too bad. That wouldn't be too bad either. So there's a few options you can go with. It depends what you want to keep, what you want to cut, how much you like the War Dogs, for example. Because obviously the War Dogs, like if you want to keep in the list, like again, if that goes out, you're floating 150 now. You can maybe get like another Lord of Contagion in here, for example, which would be pretty good as well. I feel like I would rather have the extra unit to play around with though. But something like this is quite like a bit different. You still got a little bit of shooting here at the back line, so you don't have to worry about screening. Because they're playing backline, it means you can probably like spend one of these on home and you have the other 2 play upfield. So then you have a bit of scoring potential. And then you have all this pressure that can come in on a turn. You've still got, a squad inside here to pop out and do damage. You've got the big uppy downy squad as well, which is really nice. So you can still do quite a bit of damage with that. I do wonder actually if at that point do we like drop that and just go with second Lord of Contagion, because I want that to be nice and scary. Plus you've got the last cannons from this thing anyway. So yeah, I think these are like the ways you can like sort of play it. It depends what you're into, whether you prefer the HBL extra shooting or the extra punch of a Lord of Contagion inside this Land Raider. I think either or is pretty good. You can sort of do with that as you wish. Even if you only find 100 points and fit Typhus in here, for example, that could also be pretty good. So I mean, yeah, you could like. I mean, I do like the Lord of Runes in this attachment. I think he is very good. But again, if you wanted to make sure this thing could punch harder, you could swap him out for Typhus, put Typhus in the Land Raider with that squad, have these guys just moving and using the assault stratagem. They obviously like the real wounds. I'm not gonna lie, they do like that, but it's not 100% necessary. They still shoot pretty damn hard anyway. So yeah, there's a couple of ways for you to go with it, really. So I would just have a play around with those and see sort of where it gets up to and what you like, whether you like what you're more married to. But either of those lists, I wouldn't worry about Catan. I don't think DLC has got a really great match into Catan, so I wouldn't hamper your potential fun of the list and the models you want to run for something that I don't think you probably likely end up beating anyway. That's not to try and be negative. That's not trying to put you down as a player. You potentially could beat them. You never know. But I would just, again, we're towards the end of the season as well. It's a league. You're having a bit of fun. Unless you know literally everyone is playing Catan, in which case then you're probably going to have to like tail your list really hard to like champions or something like that. I would just take a list that's more fun. And this is like a hybrid of the two, where I think you get quite a bit of fun out. You get to use your War Dog, you get to use your Lamb Raider, you get to use a lot of Contagion. Because again, a lot of Contagion can join that squad if you want. LOV can join that squad if you want. But again, LOV can become Typhus, all these kind of things that you can swap in and around to sort of, you know, cook something up. I mean, you could even go, what? You can even get rid of an FBL drone. That floats you what? That floats you 185. You can bring Typhus in, and then you can get a double spawn again. Like, that's also, like, decent. And if you go double spawn, like, maybe you don't even need, like, the forward pressure of that. So maybe you can actually drop these instead. Again, trying to figure out ways to make this be a bit more hybrid. That would actually float you 150 plus 65. So then you float in, what, 115? So then you get Typhus in there. You could actually get another thingy. So that you could actually get another Lord of Contagion and the second spawn. So, like, that would also work. So, again, see what you're married to, because, like, that's also viable. That one is also viable. Depends if you want the War Dog. If you don't want the War Dog, you can cut these two out here. That floats you 225 points. You get an extra squad of spawn, you get an extra Lord of Contagion, and then you have the spare points for the enhancement to give it to the LOV there. Which, again, then you have the Assault enhancement. That's actually pretty cool. So, again, depends how much you're married to this War Dog. If you don't want the War Dog, this gives you that extra Contagion spreading as well, bit of extra scoring play, gets you a bit more punch inside that Lamb Raider. So I say this is the pure Death Guard build I'd go for. And then if you like the War Dog, which again, nothing wrong with that, you can bring him in instead, cut Lord of Contagion, cut that spawn into that third squad of Poxwalkers. So a few options for you there, mate. A few options. Mate, yeah, I know, I wish I could sideboard stuff out between matchups. I would much, much, much prefer that. So yeah, have a think, mate. Have a think. But there's a list for you, right? So anyone in chat who wants to have their list looked at next, that would also be very, very cool. So we can do that. So let me know if you're in the chat and you would like your list looking at next. I'm just going to flip these back up. And we will go into that one next. If not, I'm going to have a quick check on Blight Surgery, see what we got. Quaid. Did I do Quaid last time? 3rd or 9th? I think I did. I think I did Quaid's. Did I do Quaid's last time? Oh, I can't remember if I did Quaid's. I think I did. Mortarian Gunline. I think I did do that one. I'd have to go check my old video. I might have to. Yeah, because I did after. I'm pretty sure I did after Mike Quaid's. So let's have a look then at another one. When a Dave loves a Zito. Jesus Christ, what is this? A meme Hammer list to try and play it differently, but just to have a ridiculous stuff happen on the table until 11th. Hammer really just because it's drive through wall, strap for land raise, pick an afflicted unit, I have affliction, LOV, Blight Lord Break. Okay. Let's have a look at this one from Dispardian then. We can do that. Unless someone shouts up in chat. Right, Dispardium. So this is a Mortarian's Hammer list, but it's a bit different than the normal. So we've got double LOC, and we've got a Tallyman. Then we have another temp. Man, Blight Lords are packing heat right now. So many Blight Lord Terminators packing up everywhere. I love to see it. Oh, good lord, I've just witnessed what this thing has. I'm going to call this the Land Raider episode. Double Land Raider. Double Land Raider. You'll love to see it. Then we have two. Oh my god. Good lord. Double 6-man Death Shroud Terminators and a character. Jesus Christ. Oh god lord. And then double Poxwalker. Well, this is definitely a list for sure. Yeah, it almost copies the Custodes vibe, I'm not gonna lie, doesn't it? Well, this is obviously obviously the description does say this is more for a fun list, and I totally see that. This does look very fun. Mortarian's Hammer does make this more playable because being able to move through walls is very important, and picking things to be afflicted at range does help out with things like your Laskin and stuff. Or interestingly in this one, you might want to even pick -1 to hit, because the cool thing about this is, let's say you're against, an opponent that maybe is just like guard or something, maybe they've just got like, 2 Rogodons that you're scared of. You just go -1 to hit that one, and then you just pick the biggest threats to these Land Raiders, and you just -1 to hit them off the rip. Like that'll do it. Like boop boop, that one. Use it. So rather than using it to offensively go after targets like you would normally, where you pick units to deep strike in and then go and kill them with -1 save, you instead pick the biggest threats to your Land Raiders in an area that you're going to push to and put -1 to hit on them, so that you can then push your Land Raider forward. Because then you got to remember as well, if they are a unit that can get +1 to hit, for example, so they hop out, you've contagion them because you picked them, they hop out, you can then smoke to give it -2 to hit, which will then negate any positive bonuses they have, and also give you cover, which is really, really nice. So now this list, if it goes into the opponent, it's going to hit real hard. Like, obviously, these two are going to, like, decimate pretty much anything they touch. You have the Eye... Oh, wait, this had the... This had an Eye... Yeah, it does have a LOV. Excuse me, sir. So we still have an LOV in here with the Eye of Afflictions. I think that's ignores cover in this squad. So, like, all three of the squads are super deadly. Now, look... You are not playing, you are obviously playing this to be very, very aggressive, very, very killy. You're not playing this list to be winning the game on points, that's for sure. I can't remember if there's timelines even in this list, or I've just accidentally put him there. Is timeline you in this list? You are, okay, someone has to hold home, I suppose. But that being said, an aggressive push off this list could actually be devastating to someone. There's a lot of damage here. Obviously, you've got a lot of sprayers, so Overwatch is going to be really good in this as well. And it's just a lot of chunk to get through. It's everything's 2-up save. There's like outside the pot clock, everything is 2-up save, which is really, really cool. Yeah, exactly, Phil. So you pick, if you're against an army that doesn't have many anti-tank. So for example, if I was against Votan, my own list, for example, I'd pick in the Hecaton every turn and be like, cool, that railgun can hit on... Oh, you can't, he ignores modifiers. A bad example for me, of course. I picked the one thing that ignores modifiers. But even just outside that big scary things that shoot like a set of broadsides, for example, -1 to hit, just be like, you're not going to get easy hits off on me here. So it is pretty damn cool. Now, I don't think there's much we can actually suggest in terms of changing, because there's not really much pivot room here. Like, there just isn't. But it doesn't really have to be in the nature of it. I just feel like this is a list that is just willing to play. Now, the cool thing is, obviously, normally Land Raiders are quite dictated where they can go. You don't have to worry about that as much, because you have crash through walls, which means you can deploy them a lot safer. Do bear in mind you can only deploy one of them a turn. You can only use it on one a turn, so you will have to make sure that you have a plan to either push one down in a normal lane and then one through a wall. And this is not the kind of list that I think you send out piecemeal. These definitely have to be sent out, protected potentially, at the same time to sort of overwhelm your opponent and try and get them to crack just one maybe, and then the other one can connect. It would be quite hard for them to be able to hit both at the same time, I won't lie. Oh my god, look, it's got old stats on it. Ballistic skill 4, front armor 14, side armor 14, rear armor 14. 4 hull points. That was a dream. So, it's a very, very fun, very, very cool list. This is the kind of list that you want to see, sort of going into end of edition, where someone's just having, an absolute blast of things and trying things out. I'm trying to think, is there anything I could really suggest here? The only real suggestions would be, if you were to, cut these down to, 3 20 points. And again, it kind of ruins the vibe of the entire list. That just doesn't hit the same. Do you know what I mean? It's just not it. But again, if you were to maybe make it more competitive, again, these things will kill most things you touch anyway. I do like the 6-mans. I think they're very fun to play with. But again, if we just take this away, I'm going to pull it back. We're going to try and make it a little bit more rounded on the approach. Not that I would think that this is the entire point of this list. But you could go... Do you know what's less than 320 points? How about third Land Raid? How about 3 Land Raid? Now we're cooking with gas, guys. Now we're cooking with gas. But no, if you were to take these out, 320 points is a lot for you to play around. Again, if you got War Dogs, you could add a double Carnivore in here for just more melee pressure. Because then again, these come out at the same time as Land Raiders. What are you shooting, buddy? What are you shooting? These really scary melee profiles here, or are you kind of shooting these things? So I get what you're saying, Peter, about the Land Raiders being kind of redundant because 6-inch deep strike, but I feel like the Land Raiders like to play super aggressive and just not have to worry about contagion. And like again, I feel so many 6-inch charges. It's really annoying me. I get the point though. They do sort of fight for existence. Because I always feel bad when I take Death Shroud. I'm not using the 6-inch Deep Strike, even though I've just started rapid ingressing them all the time. Because it feels like now paying for a data sheet rule that I'm not using. But they're still pretty good in combat. So you know. I get what you mean. I think the idea of this list is just to be like, haha, go funny Land Raider moments. I do think they are fun. But I mean, with 320 points saved from here, you could even this could even fit in like a Plague Marine brick, so you could then put one of these in reserves, have a Plague Marine brick inside the actual Land Raider, and that's what Zito does to good success. He can put his Plague Marines in his Rhino, his Land Raiders. That's also a good delivery system for those fellas. So that way you could then still have a guy in the sky to sort of react around with. But again, if you want to take it a more, I mean, technically, you could even bring a Mortarion. Not going to recommend it, but you could technically bring Mortarion because you could, obviously not with these points, you need more than that. But you could try and do the whole reactive move back inside the Land Raider sort of thing. That would be quite funny. So there is that to do. Where you can like reactive move back inside Land Raiders. That's what Custodes are doing at the moment. They're using Talons of the Emperor to get the reactive move stratagem, and they're basically pushing up with a Land Raider, getting the guys out. If you move in here, they re-embark back inside the Land Raider, makes them really annoying to deal with. But if I genuinely had 320 points spare and I wanted to make this work, honestly, like even something like triple drone, I will actually say, I wonder. You could either go like triple haul or triple mower drone. That wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. These have changed. These have really changed. Where's the motor there? If not, I just forgot I love doing something else. Like you could do something like this, and then you go like triple mower drone, and then you just like cool. There's like again, it's just the idea being like all this comes out at the same time, and it's like what are you gonna shoot? This, or this, or the Land Raiders with the guys inside. And again, these guys can use hammer strats. You can go spitters, for example, because spitters are pretty good to stop move blocking. Cause that's gonna be one of your biggest problems, is getting move blocked. So having 3 spitter drones that can, or even like 2 spitter drones, 1 mower, or even 3 hauls. Like 3 hauls is also completely fine. Like this will also push up, and it just asks your opponent questions. Hauls are also good for cracking open transports to help you get charges into it. Obviously, you do have your last cannons as well, which is quite nice. So there is ways you could do it like that, but I do feel like you kind of are running not the meme. It's not a meme. It's just like the thematics of the list is here is Land Raider, here is Death Shroud, and I feel like I am destroying that by making changes to it. So I think you'll have an absolute blast with it regardless of what you decide to do. But if you do want to go a bit more balanced with it, I would probably just cut out. Hell, you know what? You could even potentially like cut out that. Because like, you can put one of these on home, that's fine. You don't need a Talion, it's not a very CP heavy detachment. That alone gets you 2 spitter drones. That will be pretty good for just clearing a path, making sure you don't get move blocked as easily, because obviously you can spray off things like 5-man squads. I move blocked so many people with 5-man Jaegers. It was really funny. I move blocked a Chaos Knight army for 3 turns in a row with 5 Jaegers. Really funny. So having something like this that could just overwatch them and stop that happening to your Land Raiders, for example, would also be really good. And we're only cutting down 3 Terminators there. You still got 1 big 6-man, 1 3-man. But again, I don't want to ruin the fun of the list entirely. So you do what you want, Champ, because I think it is definitely a list built for fun more than anything. But I absolutely appreciate it, and I respect the commitment to the Land Raiders because it's really, really funny. And again, it's just a fun. And again, we're at the end of the edition. Who cares anymore? Just have fun with stuff. Right, next up then. Sorry, bloody allergies. Adam Schneider. Yes, Adam, no problem. Is that your name on Discord as well, or do you have a different name on the Discord, my friend? Because it would help me if you can find your own post and tag me in it. That would help massively. Because it helps me find people and sort of get a bit easier, because there's a lot of submissions. So tagging me in it will be much more helpful for me to sort of find your list and get to it. So a quick drinky poo break. The more I'm looking at this list I'm taking tomorrow, the more terrified I am, by the way. What is this? This is so small. I was playing yesterday with Votan, and I had what? I had near 80 models or something. It was stupid. I had so many goddamn guys. I could just chuck them out. 50.5 mans with 10 OC is such a drug. Oh my god. How do guard players ever lose? I don't understand. You are correct, Phil. Yes, unfortunately, firing deck only works in your own shooting phase. Sorry, so in your opponent's movement phase and charge phase, firing deck does not get to work. So if you can't if the Plague Bus could Overwatch, it would 100% be the best unit in the entire freaking codex. That is its one weakness, that it can't Overwatch. If it could, it'd be very nice. But you really need the Overwatch. So say you've drove out, you've just killed off like a massive screen of like Kroot Carnivores or whatnot, and you're worried they're going to send out a second screen. Maybe that's like the only 2 screens they've got. You can just disembark one of the dudes, and he can sit here and be like, yo, you want to come out? Because he's still got D6 plus 3 shots. He'll still be able to kill an absolute chunk of it. So, you know, they're like, if you really need the Overwatch, you just have the options to still disembark the guy. Obviously, he's more likely going to die in the next turn. But again, it's the trade-off you have to make. Sometimes expending. So one thing that I learned playing the Votann again while Mr. Adam finds me his list. The one thing I did learn playing Votann, and it's the one place that I really like doing, is understanding every unit is a resource. And to be honest with you, if you're going into turn 5 and you have units that are still on the board and they're not either scoring you a secondary or stood on an objective, you have failed to use them properly. I won my 2 games with Votann with very comfortable scores, and I had no models left by the end of it, pretty much. They were all expended. But my opponents couldn't score anything, because I would just, like, for example, there's like a gap between the terrain and the edge of the board that's like 4 inches wide. And he had a Carnivore coming down the side to threaten my natural objective. I got out a 60-point Arcanist Evaluator and just stood him there. I was like, cool. Like, you can't move past him. Yeah, you'll charge him and kill him, but you just ain't going anywhere. So I'm going to guarantee hold 5 more on primary, and it was purged, and I'll get hold more as well. So I get 10 points, actually, from him doing that. It's just things like that. So many expendable units, which is really fun to play with. So I'll actually do a thing about resourcing and expending them properly, because I think it is quite important. Right. Okay, typed it out for me. That's fine, Mister. That is fine, Mr. Adam Schneider. Okay. Champions of Contagion. Okay, one champion time. 2 LOC, 1 LV. Yep. Playcaster Biologist. I'm going to guess this is the big brick here. The Classico, I'm going to imagine. 10 Marines, Bells, Whistles. Yep, Rhino. 3 DST, 2 HBL. 3 DST, 2 HBL. 2 HBL, 2 Mythic, 2 Poxwalkers, 1 Spawn. So 2 HBL, 2 Mythics. Where the Mythics at? There we go. 2 Mythics, 2 HBL, 2 Poxwalkers, and 1 Spawn. 2 Poxwalkers and 1 Spawn. There we go. Oliver, get off Slayer the Spire too. I can see that in my Steam. We have, did you say, is it double? 2 LOC, 1 LV, 3 so is it 2 squads of 3 Death Shroud Terminators, I imagine, because you got 2 LOC, or is it 3 squads of Death Shroud Terminators? Is it 3 times 3 DST? That's my question. I just need you to answer that for me, and then we'll get straight into it. Is it something like that? Is it something like this, for example? If this is the list, again, we'll go hypotheticals here. It's a pretty solid starting ground, yeah. So again, I've said this multiple times, but I will say it again. So champions at a core is basically, let me get the champion core. So it's this. So this and this is like the core of a Champions of Contagion list. You have 2 LOCs with 3 Death Shroud each. They're your hardest hitting characters. Squads, because they get crit 5s, sustain lethal lance. And then the big squad here, normally with final ingredient on the Bios Putrefier, however, it is not required. This squad fights first, got a bunch of shooting, you can obviously get 4 rolls to hit and wound for 2 CP, and a Rhino to carry him around in. This is the absolute core of any champions list. Now, when we talk about this now, we have to then add in the bits that we're missing. So we're missing a few things. First one is contagion spreading. So that is where the spawn come in. So some people play 2 spawn. I like 2 spawn, but again, 1 spawn is fine. You just got to be a bit more safe with them and not throw them away. This is not a trading unit in this army. It is not a unit you're going to send out to score something like area denial, things like that, because it is too vitally important for you to be able to spread contagion, to be able to drop in these guys where they want to be. So please do not throw the spawn away for anything. Now, Poxwalkers, pretty good. The Poxwalkers are pretty decent. Now, what I will say is here, you are playing an extremely hungry CP detachment. Super, super hungry for CP. So this third squad here is a little bit up for debate. So you don't really need the third squad. Now, there's nothing wrong with the third squad. The third squad is absolutely fine. There's nothing wrong with that. You can make use of it. But what we'll often see is we kind of want a talisman in champions, at least one, because it's so CP reliant. It's very expensive to keep running champions. So talisman would be something I would definitely be trying to fit in here. Now, this 4 Demon Engine package is also quite core to what you would see. So let me just build them very quickly. Like this, to be honest, is what most people would start with when it comes to it. So realistically, you're floating 210 points. Because obviously 50 from this to here. So from here, you can spend these 210 points any which way you want to Sunday. You can get, more bloat drones, you get more things. You can even potentially, double down on some Death Shroud to make this into a much larger squad. So with 210 points, you can literally do something like this here. And then some people will go second Taliman, because the 2 Taliman again can screen out home really well. So you just keep 9 inches apart from each other. They make a nice 18-inch bubble between them, which is again really nice. Just be careful of 6-inch deep strikes. Like, this is more than perfectly playable. But obviously that doesn't want double Taliman. You don't have to have double Taliman. Obviously, oh, he's in the list already. Sorry, did I miss Taliman? Oh, sorry, I did miss him. Oh, excellent then, brilliant. Right, so we've got Taliman here already. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Then yeah, this is solid then. So this here then, this here does feel solid. Now I will say though, I will still say, I don't know about the LOV, because the LOV here is realistically only buffing these two, and they can give these guys rerolls to hit, but obviously there's 2 things here. Flamer rerolls is nice on this squad here. That's still pretty good, I'm not gonna lie. In combat he's decent, so it's not a bad pick by any means at all. But for me, I feel like I would rather, for example, I think I'd rather take a Typhus, for example. Now, the only reason I'd personally rather take a Typhus is because, again, I want these 3 to be, like, really heavy hitting. Typhus is damage 3. The LV doesn't hit that great in combat. He's, like, 8-2-2, which is okay, whereas, like, Typhus is 9-2-3. And he has an extra attack. He's on 6 attacks himself. Obviously, you get the mortal wounds there. And the really cool thing is, in this attachment, to use your full rerolls to hit and wound stratagem, you need to deal at least 1 damage to something. The mortal wounds is, like, a 5 out of 6 chance that you automatically, just by default, will deal a minimum of 1 damage to something. So he's really good for enabling wounds. And then the fun part is, in this matchup here, if you come across something where you don't need, Typhus in the squad, Typhus can split off quite easily, and now you've got 2 squads that are more than capable of killing, like, elves and stuff. This guy here, going into, like, a squad of elves, can kind of whiff. He's still going to, be able to punch them, but he's got... The weapon he's got is decent. It's okay. It's not the best, though. And his power is okay. Typhus has sweep attacks, which is a big deal when you come to deal with 1 wound MSU things like elves. He also does the D6 mortal wounds, which again, elves won't get a save against. So you just go boom. If you roll 6, you just kill the entire squad. Very, very funny. And again, the sweep's really what makes him better at killing those kind of matchups. So in those kind of matchups, these 2 can detach much better than he would run solo. And again, the other thing is, with the LOV, you will constantly find yourself... Now, again, there's nothing wrong with it, so you've got to bear in mind when you play it. The LOV will constantly find yourself in a battle for you... yes, true, Soul Typhus can also attach the Poxwalker, so if you ever, find him and he's lost his Death Shroud buddies, and these guys are nearby, you can attach them. Just weird little things like this. One weird thing with LOV is you will constantly find yourself in a battle with yourself for positioning, because you want to put the LOV where it's going to be good to make him a charge, and he's going to have the most impact for deep strike and go in. But at the same time, you are fighting with trying to line him up with LOS with these guys here. So, I feel like the LOV is good, and he is good, don't get me wrong, and I wouldn't mind it, but you just have to be more conscious how you play. And that's not too bad, because you still have 2 other squads here to go where you want. So that is fine. This, I will say, as a defensive play, this is a very good squad, because reroll wounds on Overwatch, so you can, for example, let me just load something in for you. Let's say you have, 10 Poxwalkers, for example, and your opponent is playing Stinky World Eaters. Sorry, not Stinky World Eaters, playing Stinky Blood Angels, sure. So Stinky Blood Angels, boo, no one likes Blood Angels. And he's got 5 JPIs, and he's like, ha, I'm going to come and kill your Poxwalkers that are holding this objective, and I'm going to deny your primary. You've got 2 CP up, you go, not today, good sir, I'm going to rapid ingress here, staring at you 9 inches away with all these flamers. Hopefully they've been stupid enough to walk close enough to the Poxwalkers to get them in cells and contagion range. And then you're going to overwatch them, and you potentially, you know, even if you don't kill the entire squad, even if you kill like 3 of them, now these 2 are just not going to be able to wipe this, or at least have a much less impact and less chance for smashing these guys to pieces, which means you're more likely going to hold the objective. So they're a very nice defensive play to have the LOV. And again, you've already got 2 aggressive pieces, so it's kind of up to you, really. If you like having the defensive tool, the LOV is great. If you're more of an aggressive player, I think Typhus will probably just do you better on that front. So consider those things. But it is like this here. If you were to say, is this a good cock list? I'd say yes. This is pretty, not cookie cutter. There's a little bit of change there. Again, like this is the last bit. Like I said, this is pretty cookie cutter. You can be weird and be Zito and play weird things, but 90% of people, if they were to play Champions of Contagion and they were like, give me an example list for how to play Champions, this would be the first thing I'd give them. I'd be like, this here will teach you most things about Champions. There are different ways to go about it. If you want to lean into, and this is, well, let's see if I get a very dry throat, 1 second. One thing I will say, this here leans into the damage aspect of Champions. +2 toughness is good, but realistically, +2 toughness really likes large squads. So, for example, if you were to do this instead, and then keep the LOV solo, and have a big 6-man with this guy, this +2 toughness on this is far more impactful than on the 3-man, because the 6-man just gets so much more use out of it. So, if you wanted to lean into the toughness aspect of Champions, then having a 6-man would be quite nice, because again, you know, toughness 9 Terminators with a 2-up save and a 4 invulnerable, that's tough to deal with. That is hard to crack. So, yeah, if you find the rerolls on drones that are good, then all I would say to you is keep the list that you've got. But again, this is a change you could consider. So maybe play games to see if you actually prefer the 6-man, or if you like him being in the 3-man, because this guy is more than happy to still deep strike in solo, mark a target for the drones, and again, it stops you fighting for that where you want to be to charge compared to where you want to be to mark targets. Because if you like 2 drones, if he's solo, he's more than happy to drop in even next to the drones, mark a target, do an action, score some victory points. Cool. Great. You know, that is still extremely useful to have. So I'm not against solo LOVs either. I think solo LOVs would be really good. So again, complete toolbox option to you. If you like the damage aspect of Champions, run the 3-mans here. And if you like the defensive toolbox of like Rapid Ingress Overwatch, this is a fantastic unit. If you want to try and lean into using that +2 toughness stratagem, I would then make a 6-man and have the LOV run solo. Yeah, also give Typhus a try. Again, those are, if you just play around with those little changes, you'll get a feel for what you like better in the list without having to completely rip the list apart. But what you have submitted here, Adam, is 100% really good, like, core starting point. Really, really good. So, don't, like, really good place to build from. If you were to go out and buy all these units tomorrow, I don't know if you own any of it, obviously, but if you have, sounds like you have because you obviously played some games, then yeah, this is a great. Like I said, if someone was to say to me, hey, I want against Death Guard, I want to play Champions, what I would give them is, outside of that second squad of Death Guard and LOV, because I think that's the bit where you can flex the build a little bit, this would be like the go-to standard VV build for me. And some people prefer more scoring, you know, some people get that third squad of Poxwalkers, another squad of Spawn, certain things like that. Some people go for that second Terminator squad over here, the third Terminator squad. It's all played from there, and that's just personal tweaking. But yeah, a very, very strong list there, Mr. Adam. So thank you for submitting that one, mate. And yeah, best of luck with it, and let me know how you get on with it, whether you actually end up, you know, do you like the Typhus build, do you end up keeping the LOV, all sorts of different things, because builds do change all the time. And you know, I still think it's very cool that right now we are seeing still variation in builds. Like, these 3 builds are very different. Like, yes, we've even got 3 Land Raiders tonight. Yeah, man, go try RTT. I think RTTs are brilliant for trying stuff. I'm going to show it here just because it's an absolute goddamn mess of a list. I will say, and I don't mean this to be mean though, I joined a Votan Discord and they were not very nice. I asked for, I just put my list, well, this is my collection, it's all I've got, and I was like, have I got a chance in hell? And I only got told no. I just got told, nope, you ain't going to win shit. Your collection's bad, basically. But you know what? I ended up doing 2 wins and a draw, so I'm not going to complain. But I just want to quickly show you this, because it just, again, just shows you the absolute weirdness of, like, what can even work inside of of RTTs because I had like no like duplicate list. I had like a 6-man broke here. I did have some steel jacks with a gun, with these guns here. It was very fun to play, though, I won't lie. So I had some gun jacks here. I had some Jaegers that were like split into 5-man squads. I had a carrier. God, this was such a weird list. I had 2 Sagittarius actually, because even if you nerf me, I'm going to keep playing them because he looks sick. I had 2 squads of bikes. This was the ultimate like toolbox list I've actually ran, and I had an absolute blast with it. And it's made me realise like Death Guard, I need to go back to playing my toolboxy stuff. It's why I like Taliban so much. I think it's why I just get along with Taliban so well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8. 2 more, please. I had 20. Also, I love OC. OC is my favourite thing. Again, another reason I think I really like Taliban. Another reason I like Shambor is move blocking as well, because I had so many like dudes just move blocking, being absolute pests and being pains in the asses of people. I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I had 2 squads of berserkers with mauls like that, and Uther. I had so many things. I had Uther. I had one of you guys with the hammer. I had you guys. I had the little fucking nutty professor dude who blows himself up all the time. That was really funny to play with. There is the evaluator. Like, this was the list I was playing. It was crazy, and I had an absolute blast with it. I thought it was really fun, and I think I'm gonna try and take this and incorporate it into my Death Guard, because it's again very toolboxy. Like, this is all like this is not a spam list, as you can see. There's barely any spam here. There's so many like one-offs of units, and I think I'm gonna see if I can make that work in Death Guard. I'm gonna try and make a list that's, you know, back to 5-man barebone Plague Marines, maybe no characters in there, because I did that at the Style Edition in Virulent Vectorium, and I still did really well with it. I took 30 Plague Marines in Rhinos, 5-mans just, you know, shooting them out, flipping objectives. 4 rolls to hit and wound, for example, doing really well. So I want to see what I can achieve. I want to see if I can make a list that takes just cheap things, like, you know, the spitter drones, back to those kind of things like that. So like 3 spitter drones, a bunch of 5-man Plague Marines. I don't think I'm very good with Death Shroud. I'll be honest with you. I don't think I'm a very good Death Shroud player. Again, I bank too much on 6-inch charges and screw them up all the time. So I actually think I prefer like Blight Lords. I might see if I can do MSU Blight Lords, because a lot of people in Votann are running like big 10-man Hearthguard squads, which is equivalent to like our 10-man Blight Lords. But I actually found like 5 in a character slapped a lot of units at death. So I'm gonna see if I can do like 5 in a character maybe, and see if that does anything. So I don't know. I'm quite interested to see where we go and like different ways to try things. So I do feel reinvigorated for 40k a little bit, and again I'm excited to like potentially do battle reports and things like that. So I would like to see if I can potentially, you know, get something like this for Death Guard running, because you know, I feel quite hyped to do that, and I haven't been feeling very hyped for a while. I won't lie to you guys, as I said before at the start. So yeah, I'm hoping to obviously get some battle reports going, play some little different builds, and again, like even tomorrow we're playing this weird build at the RTT with the super hyper elite, and that's going to be a great topic for us to talk about, because it's not my kind of thing, but sometimes playing not your kind of thing is a good thing as well. So yeah, if you are going to be around next week, I will do an event recap for how this goes. Like I said, we're against Chaos Demon's Thirst, so we're going to see how that goes with our Mortarion. We literally have like 4 like strong units, and that's it. We have like the big 10-man Plague Marine, big 10-man Blight Lords, Morty Demon Prince, and that's it. And we're going to see if we can make it work. yeah, like that, Dennis. Exactly. I haven't. There's even in Champions, which I just said, there's like a cookie cutter build, and there is a cookie build, but like there's one thing I've wanted to try forever, and I still haven't done it, which is like 7-man melee squads. So just a bunch of melee bros in a squad with just like a playcaster. I just want to see how that goes, like, or even 5-mans with a playcaster, like 2 5s with a playcaster, and just going sustained hits and just going into combat and just be like, this entire squad is full lethal hits, sustained 5s with all the melee weapons, and just seeing how it goes. Plus, I have a sick flamer as well on the way in. Like, there's so many things still to try, and just I haven't, because I've defaulted on things. I've just been like, yeah, this is, you know, the champions list, things like that. Predators, I still feel like I need to give a bit more of a go. I still feel they're a bit overcosted for what they bring, but like I would like to give them a whirl again. People still tell me to try Hellbrutes, so I could do that. I think I think that's the way I'm going to go, sort of seeing the edition out, is just trying out these like weird builds. Rather than making a list that works for whether it's the meta, I'm going to try and make a list that works for my personal playstyle. And just see if I can get away with like, MSU. Yeah, like he said, do Death Guard and 100 Poxwalkers. Again, like, yeah, there's lots of cool things we can try out. So for me, I want to go try out a lot of MSU kind of things, see how I get along with that. I still like Talibans and things like that. I still have to do a Mortarian's Hammer build, so I think we're going to do that at some point. We're going to do, you know, a Rhino based Mortarian's Hammer build, so we can move through walls, drop out guys, shoot away. So like shooting fast transports, if that makes sense. That would be quite fun. Maybe back it up with some Predators and whatnot. So we're going away from like PBCs and whatnot, just try and make like a Rust, we'll call it Rust Road, shall we say, for example. So, you know, something like this, for example. Like, can we, like, that's what I mean, can we make things like this work? Can we make, you know, let's see, it's like boosh, 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 boosh. Like, can this, for example, can this work in, you know, Mortarian's Hammer? Like, can this be a good Mortarian's Hammer build? Like, this is a core, and then we support it with stuff. I really want to see how that goes and just try different things that more so, not the... One thing I found myself winning yesterday with Votan, I didn't win off Votan because I had strong units or because I had strong stratagems. Like, my stratagems were pretty good. But I will say, because I didn't know my stratagems very well, and because I didn't know my army rules very well, I didn't know, like, I didn't have the strong unit combos of, like, you know, I didn't have, like, 3 squads of 6, like, steel jacks with melee weapons. I just had to play Fundamental Warhammer. And when I was just focusing on that, I was doing so much. But like I said, I managed to move block a Chaos Knights player, like, 3 turns in a row. So there's lots of different things that I can sort of work on. And it'd also be a fun thing to be like, hey guys, your list doesn't matter as much as you think it does. Obviously lists do matter to a degree, but I think a lot of the time we can still win with bad lists by just playing fundamentally well. And it sort of, sometimes playing a list that isn't as powerful in terms of data sheets can really make you start thinking and focusing on that. So maybe that could be a series where we maybe take lists that aren't on paper as powerful, but because we're thinking more. Like, again, this is why I think I did better with Taliban, because Taliban had me thinking more. And seeing how that goes as well. But again, you can already see I'm a bit more hype about talking about things. So hopefully that brushes off a little bit and you guys can pick up on that. So yeah, I'm gonna sort of wrap us up there. So thank you for submitting for tonight, though. Johnny Comment, I knocked my double D Empress list to 2,000 points on the nose. Those 15 points made a difference. I'm telling you, man, that change, we went from 2 walking Demon Princes to 1 winged one, got those 15 points. And then the data slate comes in, boom, 15 points off. Yeah, true, yeah. Painting motivation can also be fantastic. I still want to do a Morty. And like I said, I'm doing the Morty with the... I barely used Morty this edition, so... Can I use Morty, but not in the same way that everyone else did it with the Demon Prince? Can we use Morty to, like, you know, do more crazy things? Like, there's lots of things to, like, try out. I know it sounds really dumb, it's really not efficient, but, like, even just having Morty behind the wall on the big L, having a goddamn Land Raider, like, go out, for example. So you have Land Raider. Where's Land Raider? Land Raider, there you go. Like, can Land Raider be good? Like, can you have... Like, imagine, like, just having a Land Raider, like, on the other side of the wall. You have all your Death Shroud in it. You get them out on the center objective, for example. And then they sit there with, like, all the flamers for Overwatch. And then if someone dares move into the big middle L, you can just then re-embark into the Land Raider from behind the wall. And then if you're in Hammer, because you've staged it behind that wall, you're then in the position for the next turn to just bust through the wall, hop out and charge them anyway. So it's like, you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. Because if you don't come out and engage me, I'll hold the primary. If you do come out and engage me, I'll just hop back into the Land Raider and the next turn send it at you through the wall instead. So, you know, like, weird plays like that. Can we literally make Mortarian's Hammer? Mortarian and Hammer. Because it's a God Hammer, last cannon variant. So, Mortarian's Hammer. Yes, that makes so much sense. But yeah, anyway, I'm going to stop rambling because I'm rambling a bit now. So thank you so much everyone for tuning in tonight. Thank you for the list that you got submitted. Again, if you want to get your lists checked out, make sure you submit them inside the Discord and tag my name in them. And if you're in the comments, you can leave a comment on the video as well as you watch back with your name. Again, use your Discord name. If you're on the Discord, use your Discord name. It's going to help me find your list much easier. And again, we'll be back on next Sunday again to do some more list reviews. But we are back on Tuesday as well with the guys, because Will and Dave weren't here last week, so we're going to do a bit more chatting, and sort of things. And apparently it's a big reveal tomorrow, or next week, so maybe it's the Defiler. Who knows? Maybe we finally get to see its stats and stuff, which would be quite cool. So we've got some things to look forward to. But for now, everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. Hope you guys have a lovely night, evening, morning, afternoon, wherever you are in the world. And yeah, I'm trying my best to get more hype, more back into it, and get a bit more inspiration rather than staring at a screen for 2 hours, trying to force myself to record a video when I'm not feeling happy about it. So I'm working on it, guys. Just bear with us a bit. And again, if we can get those battle report content going, that would also be awesome. So hopefully we can get some new things in. But yeah, for now, guys, thank you so much for tuning tonight. Sorry if I rambled a bit and just focused on making lists. Like I said, just in a weird spot. But I like talking to you guys because it does help more than you think. I know even if sometimes you're not replying in chat and stuff, just like feeling like I'm talking to someone helps. That sounds really sad, doesn't it? But yeah, so thank you so much for tuning in for tonight, guys. Take care, enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you all on the next episode of the Discussing Brilliant podcast. Take care for now. Stay on. Bye-bye.
In the void, where the warp winds howl, a fleet once noble, now destined to fall. Great wardens stir, betrayal takes shape, Typhon's whispers, sealing their fate. Navigators lost to the shadowed lie, a fleet adrift beneath a darkened sky. The warp's crew grasp, unyielding and tight, chaos awaits in the endless night. Whispers of power, a pestilent tide, Mortarian's pride, with nowhere to hide. The destroyer plague, a grim reward, Nurgle's laughter echoes aboard. Bound by decay, they rise in his name. The death god transformed, never the same. Plague-born sons with torment they bled, shambling forth where angels fear to tread. Mortarian stands, his sons by his side. Through agony storm, their oaths collide. Grandfather's hand, the pact is sealed. The legion reborn, their fate revealed. Lies in the armor, rot in the soul. A Primarch remade, his heart grown cold. In terror shadow, their war drums beat. Pestilent warriors, no chance of retreat. Through breach and ruin, their banners fly. With death's embrace, they'll never die. The Lion's Gate, where hope was torn. Jagged blade meets the Plague-born. Bound by decay, they rise in his name. The death god transformed, never the same. Plague-born sons with torment they bled, shambling forth where angels fear to tread. Typhus herald, chaos born, Mortarian's wrath, the plague sworn. In the warp, their legacy thrives, eternal servants where corruption lies. Mortarians fall, Typhus ascends, the death god song, it never ends.